What was it like growing up in Detroit?
I grew up in Detroit, Michigan, to a phenomenal single mom who sometimes had to work 2 or 3 jobs to keep food on the table. And I grew up as like an only child, but I wasn't, because there was a 13-year age gap between me and the youngest. So by the time I was 5 years old, they were all out of the house. And I loved to be around people, but I was a latchkey kid because mom wasn't home sometimes. So when I went outside, I had to maximize it. And in that, and in loving people and wanting to give them my last dime if I had it, I did have some people that took advantage of my kindness. And I know that can take place in any place outside of Detroit also, but it made some challenges and some things hard for me. But my mom always made sure that I had all the necessities that I needed, and most of all, love. And so that definitely outweighed any of the bad or challenges that I did have.
How did you know that it was your purpose to help others find their purpose?
I realized that it was my purpose to help other people discover their purpose through my own journey. In 2004, I had a career change, which was one of the best career changes of my life, and moving 400 miles away from where I was and my family, but it was one of the hardest years of my life. In 2004, or within that year, I had lost my dog, my best friend. It was my family member. I had had my 5th miscarriage in a row, which it almost took my life. My child had been diagnosed with a disorder. My husband and I were separated because he couldn't find a job, and that was for almost a year. Our finances wasn't great. But in all of that, I found that I wasn't alone, and that there were so many people that were there to help me. And I found that my mess could be a message in helping others. I knew that there had to be something greater, and something that I was destined for, and something that I was created for. So when I came through, because I did come through that situation, when I got more challenges, I learned how to move through those things and to put processes in place to help other people. And it was just with mentoring. It wasn't even as a career. And in that, I said, there's so many experiences that I've had that I can actually help people through. And I actually achieved those things, and helping them to create what they thought was a mess. There was just so many jumbled things into something that made sense, something that was aligned, and that they could walk in joy, because people saw the joy in me. And my walk literally changed. I get teased about my walk. And to see them having a different walk in light, I said, this is what I was created to do. And I want to help other people to do that same thing.
What do you think is the #1 challenge that people face when pursuing their purpose?
The #1 challenge that I feel people face when they're pursuing their challenge or pursuing their purpose is fear. The fear of the unknown, the fear of, I can't do this, or nobody else has done this in my family or that I know of. The fear of, what if it goes right? The what ifs, the what ifs, the what ifs. What about why not? What about go ahead, we all have fears, and go beyond your fears and do it anyway. Because you'll feel fulfilled when you do it, versus if you let fear hold you hostage and your gift hostage from other people that you should be blessing.
What's the real story?
The real story. The real story is that we all have challenges. That's real. We all have things that we have to go through to get us to be the person that we needed to be. If everything was perfect and wrapped up, we wouldn't appreciate it. We wouldn't understand the enormous gift that we have. And that was even with me. The why me? I had to have my cry in the floor moments. And I went ahead, and after those moments, I put a timer on it. So you need to understand that. And took those lessons to get to another level. I had a lot of hurts and things that I stumbled on, and I don't want people to be in that same place. I don't want them to think of what they can't do. I want them to come on that other side to know the things that they can achieve, to exceed their expectations, and to walk in what they were destined to do. I'm not supposed to do the things that you do. And maybe you're not supposed to do some of the things that I do, but together we can soar if we're both, or we're all walking in our purpose. And that's the real story. Let's change the world together. It'll take more than one person, but we can have a ripple impact and do things together, a better place.
Why are you doing this?
Yeah, the big why. Because there are times that I get tired. My son is one of my greatest cheerleaders and supporters. My husband supports me too, but my son is the one that listens to things and throws it right back at me. And that big why is, if I didn't go out and share a message of who you are, of that you are enough and you're powerful enough, and I let you walk away feeling defeated and I had a chance to change you, that crushes me personally. In the beginning, I talked about that helping people gives me a high. It makes me excited to see them soar and walk on a different level, and that I was able to have a part of that I was able to make a difference. And that's my authentic self. That's that big why. And it helps me to say, yeah, that is my purpose and my calling. And it gives me that greater confidence to continue doing it even more.
Why is this important?
Why is it important to understand your purpose? We are all called to do something great. We were all called to serve in a different way and to do different things. You might need to be the greatest administrator because you understand about that organization and helping others. Maybe your purpose is in talking, where my mother used to say when I was younger, mouth almighty, tongue everlasting. It was my gift to talk and to share. We all have different things that we were created to do, and they all blend together when we work together, when we serve in it. And that greatest thing is that you have a joy that spills out onto others when you walk in your purpose. And so it's so important to do it. Walk in your purpose.
Can you tell us a time when you faced a challenge and how you handled it?
One of the challenges that I had was I have a conference, and it had my second one, and I didn't know how to do some pieces of it. And I grew up in an era that you got to be independent. The only person you better depend on is God. And you don't ask people for things. You work hard, make it happen. But that doesn't always work to your good, because everybody should be operating in a different way. And I had to learn to get past Felicia's pride and ask for help. People are there to help you. And sometimes you take away that person's opportunity to not only bless you, but that may be a blessing for them when you don't allow them to serve or to help you. I always want to be a server. I got to do it all. No, I don't, and I shouldn't. And so that was a big challenge for me, is asking for that help and admitting I can't do all those things. And it worked out great.
100 years from now, people are watching this video about purpose. What would you want them to know?
100 years from now, when people are watching this video and they're like, about purpose, what would I want them to know? That no matter where you are, you can start. Doesn't matter how much time went by, what took place, you can always start to walk in your purpose. It doesn't have an age or a time limit. It's still the same. You were created to do great things. So walk in your power, walk in your gift, and share it with others. And that's what I want people to know, and that's what I want them to continue to share.
All right, fantastic. Cut.
Oh,